Guys, once again, Ijaz Hidayat is with you with a series of the incidents happening in my life as a clinical perfusionist. So today I'm going to discuss one my very memorable, which I can't forget, the incidents which in my life had happened. I was the chief perfusionist, I remember, of the perfusion unit in Aga Khan University Hospital, Karachi, Pakistan, and this is I think in 2008. I think it's 2008 or 9. The incidents happened in 2008 or 9, and the surgeon came to me and he discussed this. He's planning to do one a coronary artery bypass graft for the female patients which belong from Jehovah Witness family, and he's not planning to give any blood. So as a backup, he ordered to we have to prepare the cell saver in case of the bleeding. We can use the patient's own blood as a cell saver is the backup of the as a blood to transfusion. So I assigned one of the senior perfusionists for that procedure, and procedure underwent very well. They finished the procedures on bypass after revascularization returned by we know from the bypass, and then the perfusionist noticed the time when the patient came off from the bypass where the hemoglobin was around 10, and the patient's having the massive bleeding, is a coagulopathy. So they gave a protamine, and still the bleeding was not stopped, and they start suctioning the patient's blood into the reservoir, and then the perfusionist noticed that the blood get clotted in the reservoir. He informed to the surgeon that the blood which he sucked is get clotted. Although he performed the protocol to give the irrigations which is through the cell saver like heparinase irrigations, as you know, we added around 30 to 50,000 units. So our center we used to add 50,000 units in a liter, and we added the saline heparinase saline into the reservoir like a 200 mils, and then we fix the drop like a 16 to 18 drop per minute. We start adjust the drop of the heparinase irrigation saline which is coming for anticoagulant, which we are using for the sucking the blood from the cavity into the reservoir. But the the blood which we sucked in the reservoirs get clotted. It may be because of the protamine, or maybe there is some deficiency of the antithrombin 3, whatever we have no clue. But we are not able to they call me, and we are not able to transfuse the blood. We get it from the cell saver, and even we change the cell saver. We added the new saline kit, we added new heparin, and although again the time we sucking the blood get it clotted again, and the patient hemoglobin dropped to 8, and finally we packed the patient, and we wait, and we shifted the patient to CT ICU with open chest, and we informed to the surgeon that to the family member, surgeon informed that patients need to transfuse, but the patient's family refused to transfuse the blood to the patients. So we end up the patient with no more results. So patient passed away because of the blood transfusion, and of course this case underwent for the RCA, root cause analysis, to ethical committee, and to the our root cause analysis team, which we discussed. The surgeons written in his note that due to the malfunctioning of the cell saver and due to the incompetency of the perfusionist, we are not save the patients. Whereas as a chief, I raised some few points which I need to discuss with you, and which can be helped to the perfusionist who is doing the patient, such like with the Jehovah Witness. As a surgeons, as a doctors, they need to do the pre-op antithrombin test of the patients, which was not happen for these patients. We need to recheck the heparin vial, expiry of the heparin vial which we added in the anticoagulant irrigation saline. And number 3, the patients like the Jehovah Witness, we can do this case as a on a beating and like a graphs. There is a position, but in our scenarios we can't save the patient because we are not able to transfuse the blood to the patients, and the patient have the massive coagulopathy, and our cell saver initially in the beginning it didn't work, and we lost around 500 mLs which we sucked from the patients. We're not able to process because of the blood we get it from from the patient's cavity, it was clotted. Maybe it is because of the protamine, or maybe which can't be identify. So guys, the message of my this talk of to discuss this type of cases is the people who are brave discuss their incidents. So we are not hiding the things, so it will going to lesson for others to learn. So what we can do, we need to recheck the heparin vial twice, the expiry of the heparin vial. For the patient like a Jehovah Witness, we have to do the alternative. If we need to do the antithrombin test prior to go on bypass and in a pre-op anesthesia checklist. Number 3, there is the alternative drug we can use instead of the heparin if there is a deficiency of the heparin, antithrombin 3 deficiency, so heparin will not affect. So we need to do the alternative drug, which like bevuloridine as a anticoagulant. And number 3, of course, the issue should be noticed early and informed to them the early instead of the last moment of the life you're telling that your surface will get clotted. So take home messages. Before to start the cases like a Jehovah Witness, you need to add antithrombin test as a pre-op anesthesia checklist. So we should be very clear as a professional that the patient doesn't have any deficiency of the antithrombin 3 factor, so which can help us to prevent this type of scenarios in the life. Guys, have a nice and good day. We'll come up with new discussions, the series of incidents happening in my clinical expertise as a perfusionist, and we're going to share and we'll come up with the advices and suggestions as you can give the feedback, further preventive measurements which can be taken more. So hope I'm waiting for your comments and suggestions. Have a nice good day. Take care. Bye bye.